You unknowingly sabotaging your success as a spiritual entrepreneur. There's one common mindset trap that keeps even the most intuitive, talented creators stuck. And if you don't stop doing this, it could be the only thing that's holding you back from true abundance. So you might be feeling aligned, you've got that vision, you know that you're meant to serve something bigger than yourself, you know that you've started taking that step towards your business, but every time that you take a step forward, something else seems to pull you back. Have you ever felt that way? Today, I'm going to be revealing the number one blocker that you definitely go through at some point in your journey. This is something that all spiritual entrepreneurs don't get out of. Why it's so stagnating, and more importantly, how you can shift your mindset to break free and step into your full potential, both practically and spiritually. Now, I did say number one blocker, but I actually have 3 blocks, and the last one is literally the biggest block. That's so hidden to us as spiritual entrepreneurs. So stay tuned to make sure that you get that gold. Okay, so your first block is literally your mind or your logic that's getting in the way. So even for us intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs, our mindset can come and kick us down all the time. And our ego, which is literally another name for the mind, can keep us trapped longer than most because of this, right? We think that we're just going to be served success on a dish, on a little golden platter, because we have spiritual gifts. But this is literally our very own egotistical mind that is keeping us blocked, okay? So we have this belief, a lot of spiritual people have this belief, and intuitives, where it's like, oh, we're special though because we're doing God's work, or we're doing the universe's work, and because of that, we should just be given this stuff. And it's like, no, we have to move out of our own way when it comes to this. And there are a few ways to do this, which I'll explain in just a second. But knowing and being in this awareness in itself of how the ego can keep us trapped in so many subtle ways is an essential first step. So how do we move out of this stagnant mindset that's keeping us from our abundance? You make a decision not to be this person that believes that about themselves, okay? Stop telling yourself that you are spiritual and that you don't have to do anything and that the law of attraction is just going to do things for you. It does not work like that. Stop telling yourself all of these lies that your ego is kind of making up, which is actually keeping you safe and keeping you in your comfort zone. So if you look back at your past life, and you realize, actually, I haven't really moved forward. I've done the same thing over and over. I've got the same result, and you want better results for yourself. This is what you need to start telling yourself. I want you to start telling yourself that you are both. You are a spiritual being, yes, but in a material body. This body is material. That's why it dies, right? The soul is eternal, and that's spiritual. But where's the soul living right now? It's living in the body, and the body is material. And so your body requires you to feed it material things to keep it going, to keep it running. And your soul requires the spiritual nourishment and the food, right? So basically, in short, this basically looks like reprogramming your mind to allow your soul to be fed, okay? With all the meditations, the breath work, the rewiring, the holistic practices, that's all mental work so that your soul gets to be fed, so that your soul gets to be nourished, so you get to be in your feminine energy. And then you take aligned and inspired action steps forward to building the best life for your material body to get to live that life of thriving and abundance, right? That is our responsibility. It's our body. And so we are the only ones that are in charge of looking after and making executive decisions as to where we choose to take that body and where it gets to go and how it gets to live. Some take the body towards no effort and they live the same life over and over, and they get diseases in the body, and they don't live a life of purpose. And that's because there's no effort being made towards looking after the material body in the way in which it was designed to. Some decide to take their material bodies to a 9-to-5, and then they hate it and they get chained and they're stuck there, right? Some of us decide to actually break free at some point along the way, and most of us quit. And hence the title of this video, why most spiritual entrepreneurs fail and how you can break free. And so this stuckness brings me on to my second point, and the second block for spiritual entrepreneurs being the when I identity. Okay, so what is the when I identity? This is the biggest block, not just for spiritual entrepreneurs. This one goes out to all entrepreneurs, spiritual or not, just humans in general, myself included. When I manifest this, I will do this. When I manifest this, when I win the lottery, I will do this. No. Like, it's the opposite. So you don't do and then nothing comes, right? Because when you're just saying things, you're saying words, it's empty air, and you're just going, when I do this, but then do you actually go and take the action step? Because without doing that, that's the gap. That's where you're missing out. That's where life is happening and you're not manifesting. Like, there is a reason that most of my friends and my family don't even recognize me year after year, and even my partner, because I refuse to stay in the same identity month after month, year after year. I am constantly exploring. I'm constantly changing. Some of you have been on my journey from the beginning, like where you saw me create my Instagram account, my first videos where I'm shy, and then each year you get to see me literally break out of those identities and become this new version. And I explore, I change, and I take action even when it feels scary, and trust that the universe will catch me, and she always does, right? You have to be building the deeper faith and that deeper connection and trust over the surface level spiritual concepts that we see in society today, like crystals and tarot and Reiki, and all these have their own place in the spiritual world and the healing. But what triumphs all of that is your own mind, okay? And your mind doesn't actually need any of the tools that we've been taught to rely on. They're crutches. Your mind only needs one thing. And that one thing is your inner voice, your intuition, okay? It's your inner seeing, it's your inner power. And so when you find yourself using the when I identity, or the identity of I need this, like I need this crystal, I need this healing session to remove this block, I need this to be successful, I want you to tell your mind to shut up in the most loving way possible and just tell it what you want it to do. Like, psh, I manifest exactly now because I take action right now. And then surrender and trust the universe to bring it to you in divine timing, because divine timing is also a law of the universe, which gets forgotten a lot of the time when it comes to manifesting with the law of attraction, right? But people forget there are 12 laws of the universe. The law of attraction is just one of them. So there's law of vibration and all this other stuff, and law of divine timing as well. And so we need to incorporate every single piece of it to grab the entire puzzle. A lot of us are just moving around with just one piece of the jigsaw or a couple of pieces, and it's like, why is it not working? This is why. Even in the spiritual world, like I see so many people just chasing the next thing, like they're chasing the next shiny thing, that they forget to fall in love with the current moment and the present moment, and even just fall in love with the divine timing aspect. Like so many people are like chasing more healing or more readings or more crystals, and they think that that's going to make their life better because they're just getting more information or more tools. But in actual reality, they're just tools. The mechanic has, if the mechanic has tools but it doesn't get to work, is the car going to get fixed? No. That's the point I'm trying to drive home here to you, is you can have all these tools, but if you don't work with them and take action and work with the mind, which is the biggest tool that you've got right there within you, and you don't need to buy anything as part of your mind, then it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen for you. So a bit of tough love, but you now know what to do with that first block and how to move beyond it. Stop telling yourself that. It's literally as easy and as simple as just talking to yourself and telling yourself these things, right? So moving to the final and the biggest block, especially when it comes to financial abundance and money for spiritual entrepreneurs, and it is the long-term versus the short-term perspective shift. And I promise you, this is what 99% of spiritual entrepreneurs are just stuck in. And if they transition to the other side, their abundance is literally going to be waiting for them, like right there, right? And it'll be waiting for them right there much more quicker than those who stay on the other side, who never really actually even get to their true abundance state, really. So you might want to dive deep and pay attention here. Come back to this video as many times as you need. And if you haven't already, then like this video and subscribe if you haven't. So short-term perspectives, they see everything as lack, right? Lack of time, lack of money, lack of opportunity, and their actions are also then acting on this because their thoughts are like this, and so that your actions stem from your thoughts, and so their actions are literally acting on those thoughts that tell them there's lack of time, so they rush to do everything. They rush to get money in the quickest way possible. They want money quick. They want get rich quick schemes, and literally they try and get money for the shortest term things. So they think in terms of how to get money to pay the bills. They think in terms of how to buy the next gadget or how to buy the next thing that they desire, or the next deck, crystals, whatever it is, right? Instead of being in the long-term perspective and mindset of created time, abundance of money, abundance of opportunities, and that is also reflected to them in their reality. So the actions of someone who has a long-term perspective, they are acting on this and slowly tend to all the details in their own time because they create the time for themselves, right? They manage their time well, so they know that there's an abundance of time because they've created that for themselves. They know that there's an abundance of opportunities, and they slowly tend to all the details in the job. So their job is well done, it's high quality, versus the person who is in the short-term spectrum, because they're rushing, they forget things, it's not as high quality, it gets left behind, and then they worry, then they sit there and think, and they're like, why is this not working for me? So if that's you, if you're a rusher, if you're an impatient, something that we need to really work on is bringing patience to the mix, okay? This will change your life, I promise you. It sounds boring, but it's one of the game changers for all spiritual entrepreneurs, to move this perspective into a long-term game rather than short-term. So again, the long-termers, they pace themselves to gain money over time. They're not in a rush to get it now and here just for the bills. They get it for the long term so that it yields higher and so that it's over stretched periods of time rather than just short term. Again, everything is long term with a long term perspective. And I can dive deeper into this. Drop me a comment if you're into all of this stuff and you want to learn a bit more and you enjoy this perspective shift, then I will do some more videos on it for you. And this is literally one of the biggest difference between a broke spiritual mindset and an abundant spiritual mindset. And yes, there are so many broke spiritualists, broke spiritual entrepreneurs out here, and there are rich spiritual entrepreneurs. And these three blocks are the biggest keys between you becoming one or the other. And I'm not saying any of these are bad. Again, I just want a reminder here that this is a neutral space. Like, there's no judgment here. This is literally a space of me educating and shifting your perspective so that you get to see what it is like on both sides of the coin. And again, mindsets are neutral. Energy is neutral of money. So everything is neutral. But if you are an entrepreneur who are not wanting to stay broke and you're wanting to move to the abundant side of life, this is the shift that you have to make first and foremost. And so for the next 30 to 90 days, just practice these three unblocking processes that I've spoken about. I have a free abundance quiz that will literally show you there's four main archetypes in spiritual entrepreneurship that I've created for you. So you can go and check that out. I've also given an action plan and a free hypnosis alongside it to help you rewire your mind. So again, if this is something that's calling to you and you want to upgrade that mentality and shift from a short term to a long term, then go and grab that and find out where you are in your journey, what type of archetype you are, so that you can see your blocks a bit more clearer and you know exactly what you need to do to move yourself out of it. And again, if you do this for 30 to 90 days, like I said, you take my hypnosises, you see where you are in like 3 months time, you will be a different identity. I know it. Like, you will shift identity as quick as lightning with my energies poured into this hypnosis and the quiz. Because again, if you remain open to it and dedicate and discipline yourself to following everything that I've talked about, to shifting every day over the next 1 to 3 months, you will see a drastic change, I promise you. So lots of love. Thanks for listening. I will catch you in the next video. Mwah.